So let's say you've got one of those fancy 4K television sets and you've got one of those fancy Xbox One X game consoles. What are you going to play this holiday season that's really going to show off the power of your machines? Well, that's going to be Forza Motorsport 7, which also shows off the power of lots of vehicular machines in this game. It is, obviously we're on the 10th Forza game, I think, at this point, because they've got the Horizon series as well. I prefer the Forza Horizon series. I was wowed by Forza Horizon 3 last year. I'm more of an arcade racing kind of enthusiast than I am a simulation racing enthusiast. I definitely appreciate the great lengths that Turn 10 Studios goes to make this every car aficionado and every racing aficionado's dream. It certainly provides all kinds of great racing escapism, and it does have a sense of humor. You can bowl with police cars, you can drive Volkswagen buses and all kinds of strange vehicles. It also has lots of great throwback elements in there as well. You can drive and race in open-wheel cars and take you back to the roots of the Grand Prix. They've even got NASCAR racing in this thing, which is incredible. And of course, you've got a wide assortment of vehicles to pick up along the way. You've got classic American muscle cars, and you've got, old school European cars with lots of muscle in them. Fantastic Japanese stalwarts like the Skyline in there that you can collect. And Porsche is now in the Forza franchise, and it's very well celebrated in this game as well. Some great looking and great handling Porsches that you can pick up along the way. And this is a game about car collection. This is a game where you are trying to come in at the top of the rankings on every race that you participate in so that you can accumulate more credits, and then you can spend those on better and better vehicles. And as you buy new cars, you're unlocking levels of new waves of vehicles. So you get rewarded for spending and splurging. And you also have to contend with, just like in Need for Speed Payback and Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Middle-earth Shadow of War, there are loot crates and loot boxes, and there are mod cards that you can pick up in this game. You can actually spend in-game currency, the credits that you accumulate on these boxes and these crates, and some of them will give you cards, and you can go all the way right up to start, paying for boxes that will give you special, once-in-a-lifetime type cars in there as well. Of course, you can spend real money to start augmenting your stuff, and it does get a little bit slippery, like all of the loot box mechanics kind of do right now. All of this, take your chance and see what you get so you can be a better race car driver. All of that stuff is just a little gross, but obviously Microsoft and Turn 10 have heard a lot of the criticisms, as have the other publishers out there. This is, an industry in flux with this kind of stuff, and they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to be as fair as they can, at least in quotations, we're going to say that. Just like I did when I spent any in-game currency on loot boxes in the other games recently, it feels increasingly more dirty to do it. So I tried to avoid it as much as possible, but of course when you start adding in the mods, you start to do cool things like multiply the amounts of credits that you will pick up after you place in a race, and you want to get those credits as quickly as possible because the big attraction here is to unlock all of those cars and take your chance on all of the myriad amounts of different race courses that they have in here. The tracks are absolutely incredible, and you want to see them all and you want to race them all with as many cool vehicles as you can pick up in there, and you want to get into the supercars as quickly as possible. So you feel this urge to spend, whether it's the fictional money in-game or real money, you feel the urge to spend so you get these cards so you progress a little bit quicker, and it's all so insidious, but you got to do it. This new way to progress in games these days it's definitely not sitting well with me and with tons of other people, and it's become the topic of conversation all over the place. I've had issues with this kind of stuff since the mobile days. All that being said, this is an incredible experience, and they've got weather that changes as you're racing, so all of a sudden raindrops will start hitting the windshield. Of course, you've got a bunch of different camera angles that you can race as. I found that racing in the open-wheeled vehicles with the driver's perspective, and I could see my hands and I could see the detail on the gloves that I was wearing as a race car driver, just was incredible. And that's what I just kept finding. I jumped onto Forza 7 again. I'd played a bunch of it already, but I wanted to go back to it after I played Need for Speed Payback, which is not a bad looking game, but this game just, I tweeted about it. It was like putting on a pair of glasses and seeing everything clearly for the first time. Such an incredible looking 4K experience. It runs at 60 frames per second. Just looking in the mirror and seeing all of the cars behind you if you're ahead. A lot of times you're not going to be ahead, but looking at all of the detail that went into just doing the reflections so that you can see what's coming up at, to try to get in front of you, just stellar work. Obviously you're going through tiers and waves of challenges to unlock more progressively difficult challenges, which will unlock better cars, and it's addictive. It's really cool. I don't find it as joyful and light and fun. I find it really slick and really cool, but I still prefer the Horizon experience. But Forza Motorsport 7 is a tour de force, and I think every Xbox One X owner owes it to themselves to at least check this game out. And if you're a racing fan, you've already got this. You don't even need to hear me blabber on about this, but I really dig this game. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.